Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, a podcast for small biz owners by small biz owners that have go-to tools, techniques, and strategies that I use on a regular basis to help them grow their business and create thriving businesses for themselves and for the future. Today, we are talking with Deidre Kindred, and entrepreneurship is part of her DNA. She grew up in a single parent home and was encouraged to always strive for improvement no matter what. Be a continuous learner. Deidre is an independent, I don't have my glasses on, Legal Shield Business Solutions Specialist. Her background consists of being a registered nurse specializing in cardiovascular intensive care. She's a certified legal nurse consultant, owner of affordable assisted living and services, and she's a CPR instructor. Now, new owner of Your Healthcare Nurse Advocates. She loves inspiring, educating, and encouraging entrepreneurs to follow their dreams and visions the right way when it comes to starting a business. She volunteers as one of the organizers of the Fort Worth 1 Million Cups Committee and serves on the advisory board for the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center. In addition, she co-hosts the Learn and Grow networking events called One More Customer at 3 different locations each month in the Fort Worth area. Her specialty is helping small business owners realize the value of practicing, protecting, and growing their businesses by having the backing of a reputable law firm at an affordable rate. In addition, she loves to help business owners attract and retain high-quality, loyal employees by offering an extraordinary set of voluntary benefits, i.e. legal shield and identity theft. Welcome, Deidre.
Wow, thank you.
I could have kept going, but I thought, hey, that'll take up the whole podcast.
People.
And I want time to actually talk. So, I figured that's good.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I knew we would get around to this. We've been, part of doing business is making schedules work and having all sorts of conflicts figured out and done over with. And so I wanted to, first of all, tell you congratulations on your new business venture.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness. So, you know, entrepreneurship, I'm starting to stumble my words here, is all about finding your purpose and your passion. And Your Nurse Advocates is my purpose and passion. So over the years, there have been things that happen in my life where I see that there's a gap in the healthcare system. Who doesn't know that, right?
Absolutely.
So my background is a cardiovascular intensive care nurse, and then I have home health experience. With my patients dealing with that, there was a tremendous gap. You come into the hospital for pneumonia or whatever the illness may be, a fall, pneumonia, whatever it is. The hospital system does not have the time to contact your current physicians, because who has just one these days, to see what's been working, what is the plan of care that they've had you on. But instead, and when you come into the hospital, we focus on that key indicator that brought you into the hospital. And then we tell you, after we cured you, quote unquote, we say, follow up with your physicians and let them know what you did. Then, if you are lucky enough to have a home health service, your home health care nurse is saying, well, why did they start you on all these medicines and didn't resume your previous medicines or contact your doctors so those medicines can be, cohesive? Or they may be duplicates, or, you don't understand. your medications at all. So you start taking some or not taking some. So that's my whole goal, is to decrease that gap of communication as being a private duty nurse advocate, to be able to help you navigate that journey. Or if you're the caregiver of a loved one, which I call them the sandwich generation, meaning that you have a busy life, but then you also have your mom and dad to take care of and to help them navigate through all their doctor's visits and getting the doctors to talk to one another. So that's the professional aspect of why I started Your Healthcare Nurse App.
Well, and you know, you're absolutely right. So many of us have stories to tell. And back in January of this year, I had some major surgery on my ankle and was totally, absolutely non-weight bearing for almost 4 months. I still am for the most part in a wheelchair, but I can get up and hop around now if I want to. But at that point, I could not put one step down on the ground and was scared to death that if I did, what was going to happen to me? I was going to kill myself or something, because you get that warning, do not do this.
Mm-hmm.
Got out of the hospital, and my husband was actually able to take 2 weeks vacation. So 2 weeks, 4 months. What am I going to do the whole rest of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to get some home health care for
Mm-hmm.
which my insurance would pay. Kick is, it was not considered medical.
Right.
And they wouldn't cover it. And
Right.
so then I'm trying to find, they have these citizen advocates that have home health care nurses and things like that to come in. And what I said was, I'm okay. My husband, for the most part, can take care of me. But if I have to get up and go to the bathroom, heaven forbid, and he's not here, what am I going to do? They had the nerve to tell me, well, do you go to the bathroom every day? We don't have someone to come in every day. They can only come in a couple of times a week. Is that going to work for you? I just looked at the woman and I went, well,
Like,
I don't know. Do you go to the bathroom every day?
exactly. Exactly. It's like, what kind of question is that? It's like, okay. And it's such a need in all aspects. So there are many, many healthcare advocates out there, but this is just kind of a new business concept. So you're right, the healthcare system is broken. And it's like, oh my goodness. So they should have been able to instruct you to say, well, there are some private duty, they can have someone come in and sit with you for 4 hours, or, get you some access to those resources so you can contact them and see.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, they're leaving people lost. It's like, okay, so what do I do now?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, how do
I
I get,
sat and held it.
don't go to the bathroom? How about that?
There you go. It's crazy. It's crazy. So switching the conversation a little bit. We're started along that line, but say my husband, he's got a job that they need him. He cannot, he could have taken, what is it, family leave. He could have taken that, but there's no paycheck that comes along with it. So that doesn't work. He can't just he had a wonderful boss who allowed him to rearrange his schedule so he could come home in the middle of the day for a couple hours and then go back again. So we got it worked out. But those kinds of things are on our minds when we're dealing with we're dealing with a loved one, whether that be a parent, a spouse, a child that has medical difficulties.
Yep.
When we're the breadwinner, or
Yes.
we are a business owner and we have health issues that are in our family, how do we do that? how do we run a business when we're dealing with those kinds of issues?
And that's a major, major topic, and one of the top reasons that I formed this company. So you're right. When you have a job that needs you, but you also have a parent or a loved one that needs you too, that's creating such a stressful situation for you. So with my personal journey with my mom was she had 4 disease processes. She had Parkinson's at 55, dementia related to Parkinson's, asthma where she had to get injections twice a month, colon cancer, and MS. So that's at least 4 different doctors that you had to coordinate. And plus, when I worked in the ICU, each nurse has a different skill set. So lots of times I was told, you can't take off to take your loved one to the doctor because we need you. So just like your husband, he's needed there. So that's a stressful environment. So I came up with, what if you had a trusted nurse that has a background and is currently working in the system and still working in the system, and she could be your advocate. Nursing is the top, if not number 1, trusted profession. So why not have somebody that you trust that has your back instead of working for the hospital or working for the insurance company or working for the rehab center? We are not restricted other than our scope of practice with the Nurse Practice Acts. So why not have someone that's in your corner, that's going to be, fully transparent with you and help you navigate that journey so you can stay at work and we can just update you and keep you in the loop.
And how did you, we're talking about some things that we didn't previously say that we were going to talk about, but I see these as being some really interesting questions and things that people are starting businesses go through and see. I see why you decided you wanted to start this business. And if you're looking at it, I was talking with some people yesterday that, there's Simon Sinek wrote a book that's called Start With Why.
Yep.
And, once you've decided that this is a needed industry and there's not a lot of that going on, how did you then take the next step to say, I'm going to be the one that starts it?
Well, first of all, it was my mindset. I can always say that I've always been like a trendsetter, not a follower per se. But with jumping out there and finally doing it, first of all, I was kind of pushed from some accountability partners. So it's about surrounding yourself with positive, encouraging people. And I was fortunate enough to do that. And I was encouraged to participate in Startup Weekend here in Fort Worth. And so once I was a participant in Startup Weekend, it was amazing because that helped me say, oh my goodness, this person is a marketer. They would love to help me market this business. That's not my vision for me, right? I don't want to do the marketing. This person is great with logos, so I let him do my logos. I don't want to sit up. I'm not, that's my weakness, so I focus on my strengths, right? So that's not where I want to be. So I let him do my logos. And then I had another one, he, helped me build my website. So it's all about developing those strategic partnerships and those cohesive, tribes that can help you get your vision. And I had a couple of people like, okay, no, you're presenting today. Like, oh, okay. And so having those people that push you and hold you accountable and want to do things with you that they love to do, that's where it starts, in my opinion.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think from the standpoint of anyone who's running a business, and particularly if we focus on those people who they themselves have medical challenges, medical issues, a lot of women that I work with have fibromyalgia, myself included. And there are days when it's just too much. Yesterday I was out and about for the whole day doing a presentation, and even though I wasn't doing a whole lot of the work, my poor husband was the one pushing me around and driving and all of that. It was a day when I wasn't just sitting here working. And today I'm trying to do some things, and my assistant popped on and said, "Hey, you need to do this." And I'm going, "What are you talking about?" She says, "You just did this Facebook Live 5 minutes ago." I did. "Oh, I did?" Okay, fine. So you need to have these strategic partners.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe that because you have so much negativity in our world. So being able to find those positive, encouraging people, it's like a Me Too movement, but in a good way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find an environment of entrepreneurs and people who are smarter than you. Because if you're in a room and you're the smartest person in the room, well, you probably need to find another room. Um,
Absolutely.
so surrounding yourself with encouraging and positive people and people who will hold you accountable. So my close network, I think of it as a bullet, the target, right? So you have your close network of friends that you can call up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You say, you know what? I'm hurting. I am not feeling well. I just don't want to go to this meeting tomorrow. I don't know if I can make it. And that person on the other end listens, first of all, encourages, second of all, and inspires, third. And it's okay to be depressed or wallow in it for a little while, but it's not okay for somebody to say, well, yeah, me too. I wouldn't want to get up and do that either. No, you want someone who's going to be honest with you and say, okay, Nancy, I understand what you're going through and I'm so sorry, but what's your plan B?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think going along with that, when I hear the term strategic partnerships, my mind actually goes to an entirely different but connected thought. And that is, and you mentioned this earlier, you don't like marketing, you don't like designing the website. When you have these strategic partnerships where you have other people allowing you to do your genius and then they do the other parts, doesn't mean you have to have a true partnership where you've got legal documents and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a virtual assistant. She runs my business for me, but she's her own business. I don't know what
Yeah,
I'd do without her,
yeah,
but I'm not her only client. I've
right,
just hired someone recently who's going to be doing my marketing for me. She's not an employee. She's
right.
got other clients. She's her own business, yet we're working together. So I know that if I don't feel good today,
Yeah,
they can take over and things can still flow.
right.
And I don't have to worry about it and add that much more stress onto an already very stressful life.
Right, right. You are so right. And so also understanding those partnerships that, okay, so the people that I make my strategic partnerships with, it's not just about me getting, right? It's about me giving also.
Mhm.
So I love the series, The Go Givers. I don't know if you read it, but it's a great series and it's about helping others. So when they have an event, because that's their business and that's their dream. My marketer, that's her business. I'm not her only client, just like you said. But it's also, if she has an event or something that's going on, or if I'm in the community networking, first of all, I'm going to say, oh my goodness, you need to meet my marketer. She helps me da this and do this, and she's helping me stay focused on my
Right,
because I tend to go down rabbit holes. And
right.
person that you need a logo, okay, well, he will sit down with you and he will make the logo for you. It's all about branding, right? So it's also promoting their businesses.
Yeah, I can't count on two hands the number of times I've been on a Facebook group and somebody's been talking about, does anybody know of a good virtual assistant out there? And I'm, oh, yeah, and sending the link and letting her know about it. Now, I cannot be responsible for her getting that job, but my responsibility is to share with others what a wonderful person she is, what a wonderful job she does.
Right. And that's also a part of your branding too, because I was explaining someone, I was in a networking group one day and I said, it's like getting a couple together, like, oh girl, I got this cute guy that I need you to meet. And if he's a dog, your friend is going to come back to you and say, oh my goodness, you introduced me to John, hypothetically, just throwing a name out there. And oh my goodness, he took all my money, he laid on the couch and played video games. So relate that to business, a business relationship. You introduced me to Debbie and she didn't call me back, or she wasn't responsive, or she did an awful job, she just took my money. That's a reflection of you.
Absolutely. I just asked a question in one of my Facebook groups that I lead. And the question was, because I see this so often, I've liked you. We've connected on Facebook. We've not ever talked. I've never met you. I've never seen what you look like. We've just the first like. And the next thing I know, I get something from you saying, would you please like my page and recommend me? And the question I asked was, do you do that? Who out there does that? And I actually got people saying, oh, I do. And I'm going, stop and think about this. I want to like and recommend everyone, but I'm not going to recommend you until I've at least seen something you've done.
Oh, Nancy, you have hit one of my hot buttons. So, oh my goodness, that's just, let me calm my nerves down. So, LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. But what I hate about LinkedIn is exactly that. So, reaching out to someone on LinkedIn, you don't know me from Adam. And then you're saying, oh goodness, this is a hot topic. It burns my butt. I'm telling you, it does, because I so believe in relationships. So you have certain groups that sell certain products or services or want to help you sell certain products or services. They don't know you from Adam. And well, I see you're well connected. And I was wondering if you know anybody that wants to, or if you want to sit down with me as I'm trying to be very kind here.
Go for it.
And it's like, I don't know you from Medusa. So, and I already have a network of people that I know, like, and trust, right? So if I know, like, and trust them, I'm going to go to them. And I'm like, you sit down with me and know about what network I already have, and I can learn about you before you go and try to sell me. Because I believe in building those relationships and that retention. So anybody that I encounter that wants to build a cohesive relationship, before I say, oh, well, get these products or services, I have the best out there, I'm going to get to know you first.
Yep.
That's so important. So it's almost like I'm 2 seconds away from putting on my LinkedIn account or Facebook, do not call me. I'm trying to find a way to say it nicely. Do not reach out to me if you're trying to sell me your products or services. I'm not interested. At all. What I'm interested in is, if I know someone in my network, I will ask them, because I know, like, and trust them. So build that relationship first.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often. And one of the things that I've been trying to do lately is I've got over 4,000 people on my LinkedIn friends list. And at one point, I was very proud of the fact that I knew something about every single one of them on there. I don't any longer. And so I've been spending a lot of time going out to the ones that I've been friends with the longest, that I really don't know. And I'll say, hey, we're friends. Let's get to know each other. Let's build a relationship. Let's talk. What gets you excited? Most of the time, I get wonderful responses. But then every once in a while, all right, what are you trying to sell me? I go, I'm not trying to sell you anything, honestly, you know?
Yeah,
but
I think that's the norm.
Yeah, we don't trust each other anymore because so many people have pulled this crap, you know, and then somebody else the other day, and I looked him up, and we're not even, I think we're third level connections. For those of you who don't understand connections on LinkedIn, first level are we really know each other. Second level is supposed to be, you know, someone that Deidre knows wants to get to know me. And third level is, as you say, I don't know you from Adam. We're just, you know, and I think it was a third level connection that had somehow or other gotten in touch with me. And he's going on and on and on about selling his services to me. And I was very nice the first couple of times. And I said, you know, I'm really not at this point in time interested. Maybe some other time in the future. Trying to be nice. About the 10th time in a month that he's reached out to me, I go, look, I'm not interested. Leave me alone. And then he comes back with, well, what could I have done to make this conversation go better? And I said, get to know me first. Don't try to sell me something.
And that's the other thing about networking too. What I had to learn, and we have gone off our topics, but that's okay because I'm having fun. What I had to learn was when I got out the hospital system, I had to learn how to network the right way. And of course I did it the wrong way. So that's how you learn, right? So when I would go into a networking group, I'm like, ooh, there are 30 people in here, and man, if I could get 30 memberships, you know. But as time passed and I learned, you know, with personal development and all these things and putting myself around people who were very successful, I've learned that that's not your market. Your market is who do they know. So your job is to build that relationship so they will refer who they know, like, and trust to you after they know, like, and trust you. Right. So that expands your market. If you're thinking that narrow-minded vision of, oh, everybody in this room could be my client, what if everybody in that room had 300 people they know, and that could be your client? Yep. But you got to be patient and develop that relationship. It's not about now. It's about the future.
I also think you're absolutely right. But I also think that you need to go into building that relationship. Hopefully, yes, we'll get some money out of it eventually somewhere down the road. But you and I may just turn out to be friends.
Yep.
You know, we may never do any work together. I don't know anyone. Well, I do. I actually have a cousin out in Texas, but, you know, I don't really know anyone in Texas that I can refer to you.
Yes.
You know, but you and I can be friends, and it can be the best relationship ever. And who knows when I might meet somebody from Texas.
Absolutely. You're so right. So, you know, it's so funny because that brings up another topic here in Texas or Dallas, Fort Worth. Lots of times I go to a networking event in Dallas, and the person there, their market is in Dallas, and they say, oh, I never come to Fort Worth. You know, it's like you're limiting yourself. Why would you limit yourself? And vice versa. I've been guilty of it before too. I don't want to go to Dallas, but every time I go out of my comfort zone, I meet other people who are fascinating. So it's like, okay, why limit yourself? Yep. Get out there, make friends, develop those relationships, you know.
Yep.
It's,
even if you have, and I don't know whether you're going to have a true brick and mortar or what, you are business wise, you are limited in scope of where you can go.
mm-hmm.
But my next door neighbor may have a son. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, but she
Yeah.
might have a son who lives in Fort Worth.
Yes.
And by my being able to say, I've just had this wonderful conversation, I've just gotten to know this fantastic person who really, really, really cares about people who have long-term illnesses or short-term or whatever, and she's located in Fort Worth. My next door neighbor might be able to say, oh, I need to talk to her.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so with my license, I have a compact license, so I'm licensed in 23 states. But since this is a new business, of course, my target market is, the surrounding cities here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that the people can afford my products or services. But it's also about educating people also who maybe right now you can't afford, but maybe later on. Because I do want to later on incorporate something for everybody, right?
Well,
Just because,
and that's a very good point, because I was focused on your health advocates, but you do something else where you can reach out to people around the country, and that's
yeah,
working with Legal Shield.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So Legal Shield, what a lot of people don't understand is Legal Shield has these amazing small business plans. Amazing. So I feel like, me personally, I think every business owner needs to have access to a law firm. My One of my first brick and mortars that I started, I basically failed forward because I thought about doing it all myself. I was marketing, I was networking, I was maintenance, accounting, legal, all that. And I didn't know about Legal Shield at the time. And so when I was introduced to Legal Shield, I fell in love with it, first of all, because I didn't have my will, healthcare power of attorney, and da 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 da. But I really fell in love as an entrepreneur with the small plans, which will help you with so much. It's an amazing platform. And so we're all over the United States. We're all over Canada now, as of today.
Yay.
And also are in the UK. So it's expanding, and lots of Legal Shield associates are out there trying to educate the entrepreneur community about these plans, because lots of entrepreneurs, what they do is, oh, I don't need an attorney right now. Yes, you do, from the start. Oh, well, I got this little problem and I'm going to ignore it because I can't afford an attorney. Yes, you can now. So it's like contracts and documents and debt collection and questions and answers. Why would you not want to ask an attorney that specializes in that field about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I personally know Legal Shield well. My husband and I were both representatives years ago for Legal Shield, and it is a wonderful, wonderful program. And I think so often people will ask questions, and I'll see somebody say, "Well, you can find a template online for that contract, or you can find this, or well, I've got this client that I really want to get rid of, but I'm afraid to," and then you get all these different pieces of advice, and later on they'll come back and say, well, I just got sued because I listened to your advice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what it used to be, and I don't know because I haven't done it lately. It used to be like $25 a month. Is it a
Well,
lot more than that now, or?
yes, ma'am. So that's the personal plans. The business plans start at $39 a month on up to $179 or $69 a month, which is great because,
Yeah.
my goodness, I picked up the phone the other day and I had a contract that I got off of template, right? So every law in every state is different. So once I got this contract off a template, I sent it in to my law firm, and that attorney went through and through that contract. I wasn't going to take time to do it because I not understanding attorney legalese, and I want to do income producing activities. So why not have my attorney look at that? So he calls me back and he told me what should be in there, what should be taken out according to the laws in Texas. So people have to be very careful when they pull templates off that line, off an online service, Google or whatever, you're getting them. And why not be able to send it to a lawyer and have him or her look at that, see what's in there, what shouldn't be according to your state law.
Yeah, that goes back to the strategic partnerships again. There's no difference between something like that than hiring someone to do your logo for you.
Absolutely.
You know, it's another tool that you have in your toolbox that you are able to pull out whenever you need it, use it, and then put it back until it's needed again. It's a wonderful tool that, you know, we all at some point, and people will moan and groan because they say, I can't afford this, I can do it myself. Well, that's only true.
Is an attorney, and I'm like, great. But, you know, and let's go to that. Being a nurse, I specialize in heart, lungs, and kidneys. I would always joke with people about that. But then I still, every now and then, any professional, whether you're an attorney, a nurse, a doctor, a CPA, whatever, you got those family members that call you and say, well, I got this problem going on, da, 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 and can you help me for free? Okay, that's okay. We're family. But at the same time, respect that I got to pay bills too. Mm-hmm. Respect that maybe that's not my specialty. Because if someone calls me up and says, oh, my child has this rash and this, I don't do kids. I do adults, you know, or if you're an attorney that specializes in divorce, I'm not going to call you about a business question. That's like me asking my podiatrist about a heart question.
Yeah.
You know, so
absolutely. And, you know, if you go around saying, well, I can't afford it, then the next thing you know, somebody's suing you to the tune of $10 million, and you could have solved this for 169. Now, what can't you afford? You know,
oh my goodness, you're so right. And then plus I like when I have a client that, you know, comes to me and they say, oh my goodness, I need this. Okay, let's fix this problem now, but then let me tell you about these other services that it includes. Oh my goodness, they have a small business plan writer in there that you can do and get education on there. Because, you know, if you want a small business plan, you can have help and assistance with that. They have website building, or if you already have an existing website, they can look at your website and say, okay, well, this can improve your SEO or SMM marketing. It's an amazing platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't. And talking about liking and recommending, I recommend this very, very highly. I think it's really something that, as a business owner, we all need to take into consideration and say, I'm going to sign up for it, because I think it's important to have your back covered. You know, I really do.
Yeah, and it's something you love, your vision, your goals, your dreams. Why not protect that? You protect your cell phone, you get Netflix and other you know, things. You know, you have those in place. So if you were to die tomorrow or today, where would your business go?
Yeah.
You know, so this is your blood, sweat, tears, and dreams and goals and visions. Why would you not have it protected? I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just looked at the time. My goodness. Of our 3 topics, we only talked about 1. So I'm just going to have you come back on and do another episode. I'm
just going to have to come back then.
where we will talk about things like stick-to-itiveness. You know, that's another really important conversation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But is there anything that we, outside of the realm of not answering these topics, is there anything that you think is really, really important that you want to share with us today that we didn't talk about?
Nothing that comes to mind offhand. Is just that finding your passion, loving what you're doing, finding your purpose, and investing in yourself, you are worth it. Taking the time to invest in you so you can inspire others. I wrote a basically a most motivational speech to myself, and I shared with others. Are you standing in your way? Then move. Manage your opportunities for your vision to empower others. And then I have little bullet points in that. But I had to tell myself and look in the mirror, am I standing in my way? And yes, I was.
I think that's so true for so many of us. And that's a wonderful, wonderful point of view and a motivation to get off your butt and get out there. And, I hear a quote every once in a while that says, are you afraid? Do it anyway. That's, I'm afraid. I don't want anybody not liking me and those kinds of things. So when you have these things where you're standing in your own way. And I think that's a wonderful way to end this conversation. Thank you so much, Deidre.
Thank you, Nancy.
Everybody listening, I hope you were taking notes. This has been an absolutely fantastic, almost an hour of conversation that we've had. Wonderful topics. Check in with Deidre. Ask her about becoming either a member of Legal Shield or an advocate for it. You do that as well, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. If you are local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you have someone who could use some medical help and guidance, Deidre, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. My number is 817-854-3240. You can call in and schedule your 30-minute free phone consultation, and then we can go from there. Or you can go to my website at www.yournurseadvocates.com.
Super. People, I recommend Deidre. There you go. I recommend her. I think anybody out there needs to get to know her and listen to some of her wonderful words of wisdom. In the meantime, guys, please download these different podcasts. You can hear them every week, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern at www.don'twaittillpigsfly.com. And subscribe to them, share them with other people that might be interested in wonderful tips, techniques, and strategies for growing a business. And in the meantime, get out there, be productive, and soar higher. Talk to y'all again next week. Bye-bye.